Yo, what is up, you guys? So in today's video, we're going to talk about these three plugins right here. So we're going to talk about a stereo imager, a reverb, and a delay. So we'll start off talking about the stereo imager. And of course, all the links to all these plugins will be down below. And you could also just find them all at Plugin Boutique. And these are all Mac and PC. This plugin right here is very similar to a lot of stereo imagers. Of course, there's that famous Waves S1 imager, so that's like the fancy stereo imager that everyone uses. This is very similar to that. It's almost exactly the same thing. And so if you don't have the money for a Waves bundle pack or whatever, you could just go with this. And you know, this one's free, so why not? So what I like about this is that for being a free plugin, it doesn't give you that thing of like, sometimes when you try free plugins, they're really just demos of the full version of the plugin, so you won't be able to save presets and all that. But here you can still save your own user presets and recall them later. And then you have things like safe bass, so you can still keep beneath a certain frequency or hertz, you can keep your bass mono, so that way you're not stretching it out into stereo image. So that's a really good thing. And then you got things like mono bun. So if you just quickly want to use this to set mono, you could use this like a utility tool. Phase flips, swap left and right. We got all those things. And then we have mute mid, mute side. So really useful for also listening around. So it's just a good utility plugin. And of course, you can get an idea of what it's doing here. And then of course, right here, if we go to color scheme, we also have some different color schemes. So if you're into that kind of thing. And then we have the expert modes. And now you can really get into like the algorithm of it and all this other kind of stuff. So let's just kind of use it around in easy mode, and let's just turn it on. And I'm going to use the same example that I used for my last tutorial on I think it was decimation, so we're just going to go with that. So we got all that cool stuff, and of course, plugins like these are really fun to automate as well. So I would recommend also kind of playing around with that if you're looking to do some psychedelic type stuff. And of course, you can always save your preset when you have something cool, and that's that. So not much needs to be said. It is a very easy user interface to use, and it's a very nice plugin. So let's turn this off, and let's go into silent, turn off the reverb and delay, since we're gonna now explore some time-based effects, and we don't want to have we just want our patch to be dry basically. So let's go into this. What I like about this one is this is really useful for beginners, and it introduces some people to this awesome company which is known for making really great vintage reverbs and all this. So their reverbs are like top shelf. So this is just one of their free products, and I would recommend you guys check out the developer. But this is a freebie from them, and it has a nice sound, and it's simple enough. So if you know delays, this is actually quite boring, because you know everything that you see in most delays is here, like feedback, low cut, high cut, delays. You can also set it to free, and that's what I have it on right here. Or you can go in here and set it to sync it to a grid, and of course your mix and shift is actually pretty nice here. So let's just play around with it so you can hear what it does. Alright, so it is a simple delay, but it has a nice sound, so not really too much I can show off there. So just check it out if you're interested, and let's continue on to ambience. So I've talked in the past about epic verb and old school verb in previous episodes in this series, but I've always held off on talking about ambience because I knew I would get to it some other day. So the really cool thing about this one is there's a kind of a rule of thumb with time-based effects like delays and reverbs that you're not supposed to throw it on your instrument track or audio track. You're supposed to use those through sends. But this is a kind of cool reverb that you can kind of use on your track and kind of get away with it, because if you use it tastefully, you don't have to hide that it's there or use it through a send. And there's really two reasons why that is, because the gating section is really, really useful, and I'll get to that and show you, playing around with it, what it does. And then the dry wet, of course, we have our dry wet separate, so we can have our full signal and then mix in the wet signal, so we can kind of hide it and not have to use sends as much. And which is really the reason why we use time-based effects on sends and reverbs, auxiliaries, because we don't want our dry wet signal being one knob and taking away our dry signal by introducing a wet signal. So it's really useful when you see this kind of thing on a reverb or sometimes time-based effects. So let's kind of play around with this now. So let's just... So you kind of saw just playing around what the gating does. So it kind of, according to the signal coming in, it will gate the sound to that, which creates this really great opportunity to create some really great atmospheric stuff where the reverb isn't overpowering and all that. So that's really all I wanted to show you guys in this video. So check out these 3 plugins. And of course, links are down below. And if you want to see previous episodes, the playlist link is down below as well. So check out all these awesome plugins. And of course, thanks guys for watching. And if you know of any good plugins that I've missed in the past, let me know.